What's going on? Devin here, Adam, Cover 3 Media. This is our top 10 receivers, only rookies now. This is full PPR, so we'll be breaking down the tiers really quick, again, to help you guys in your rookie drafts, and just maybe trade value you want to know for these guys. So starting off number one in his own tier, easily JSN. Went first round, first receiver to the Seahawks. He's going to have some hurdles to jump to get a lot of production right away, but long term, this is a great spot for him. Perfect complement for DK Metcalf. We're in on JSN. Take him at, in that top 5 in your rookie drafts.
Easily, guys. I mean, had this guy played his full junior year at Ohio State, I think his draft capital would not have been so low.
Mm-hmm.
I think he would have been a top 15, even top 10 pick, considering his production his sophomore season with Garrett Wilson, with Chris Olave. This guy had insane production, guys, comparable to that of some players in the NFL that are insane Dynasty players right now, like JJ, Jamar Chase. This guy was dominant. He was looking to be the next JJ. So if you guys can get him after the 3rd overall pick, even in your drafts, it's a steal. Mm-hmm. This guy could be around for 10 years, 12 years, producing like guys like Devontae Adams.
Yeah.
And he's got that build. He's got that ability to play in the slot, and he could play out wide for a few snaps. So he's going to command a lot of targets in that type of a role. And I think that's how Seattle's probably going to use him down the stretch this year. So next guy on our list here is Quentin Johnson, guys. Quite possibly the best landing spot and draft capital considered for a wide receiver in this 2023 NFL draft. Paired up with Justin Herbert for the long term. I mean, I think the Chargers are going to keep their hands on Justin Herbert as long as they can. They better, or else they're going to be suffering.
Yeah.
You got Keenan Allen there. You got Mike Williams. Mike Williams has only had one considerably good season in his NFL career. So I think, to work past that won't be too big of a deal. Similar play style as Mike Williams, but again, Quentin Johnson's got the fresh opportunity, drafted in the 1st round, so I'm liking that as well. Keenan Allen and Mike Williams, both been suffering with injury problems, so that does also lend opportunity to Quentin Johnson. But with that, guys, it also provides him some, a little bit of cushion. He won't have to be that number 1 producer right away. So I do like that for Quentin Johnson, as he's got some stuff to work on in the NFL to be a good producer.
QJ, baby. Draft him. Number 3 in the same tier, Jordan Addison goes to a pretty good spot in the Vikings where he doesn't have to be asked to be that number 1 receiver because they got this guy named Justin Jefferson. I don't know if you heard of him, but yeah, he's the number 1 ranked Dynasty receiver. We know he is. They got Hockenson as well, but I think Kirk can develop these guys for fantasy football, can get them their points. Addison, I know they're similar body types, different play style, but you're hoping that he can turn to Devontae Smith where he gets that amount of targets, that he can produce low-end receiver 1 numbers. But you got to be realistic, and this is why we have QJ ahead of him, is Quentin Johnston has a higher ceiling that he could be like a mid receiver 1, where I think Addison, like I just said, I think his ceiling is what Devontae Smith did last year. And is he going to get that volume? I really don't know because they got Hockenson too. But I think Addison does go to a pretty damn good spot. So I'm in on him, but as my 3rd ranked receiver.
Agreed. Next guy in this tier, the last guy in tier 2, Zay Flowers, going to Baltimore, paired up with Lamar Jackson, who just signed his contract now, so he's there to stay.
Mm-hmm.
Not the best passer in the league, but he's not the worst.
No.
As we said in our top 30 overall draft rankings for this rookie draft, we said that, Zay Flowers, he's really only paired up with, Mark Andrews. And what I mean by that is Mark Andrews is the only proven receiver in this offense. We still got to wait to see what Rashad Bateman has to offer. I know OBJ was an absolute god early on in his NFL career, but, he's been, here, with the injuries, with everything considered, he hasn't been the most consistent dominant receiver. So is it really going to be that hard for Zay Flowers to be the second option in this offense? I don't think so. So we just have to see how things pan out.
Yeah, I think this is the next receiver you should take. I'm definitely worried about him, but just because he produced way later in his college career. But again, he got the draft capital, so we gotta take that into consideration. So now that was the end of tier 2. So now we're in tier 3. First up is Rashee Rice, baby, Chiefs. They trade up to get him, I believe, at the end of the 2nd round. And me and Adam were high on this guy. We really liked what we saw. We were a little confused about his age at first, but we got that under wraps. He is a little bit of an older prospect, but he does have very good size, very good strength, very good ability to make some big plays. And you're playing with Patrick Mahomes. Mahomes wanted this guy. One of these receivers that they keep drafting, like Sky Moore last year, has to eventually hit. I'm not out on Sky Moore and Tony, But again, I think Rice might have the best ceiling ahead of them. I know Tony does have a good ceiling, but the dude needs to play a whole season fully healthy for me to get in on this guy. But I like the spot for Rice. It's really telling that the Chiefs wanted him, Mahomes wanted him, and they were willing to trade up for him. So I think he should be your, fifth receiver drafted in your rookie drafts. But these other guys in this tier, I could see the argument, but come on.
Yeah, he's definitely the top in this tier, who I would probably consider over the next two guys. But next guy in this tier, Mingo. This guy's a beast. He's got that size upside. I think that's what drew him to Carolina. They wanted to have that kind of a physical player, 220, almost like that A.J. Brown build. His production wasn't, off the charts. We really weren't looking into him much before the NFL draft. But again, like Devin said, the draft capital does speak. It does speak to us too. So, you got to take that into consideration. Yeah. I think this guy is definitely going to be a little bit of a project. He could come out and show up right away. But I think if you're drafting this guy, you're kind of expecting like a 2 to 3 year project where, he's probably not going to have amazing production his rookie year. Second year, probably a little bit better, hopefully. But third year is probably when we're looking for him to pop. Paired up with Bryce Young, who might also have some work to do himself to get to that NFL level. So we'll see how things pan out with that. But definitely worth the investment here in this third tier wide receiver range.
I will say, if he's having trouble hurdling over Adam Thielen and DJ Chark, that should be telling pretty quickly, in my opinion. But again, receivers don't produce immediately too sometimes. So, but next guy to end this tier is Josh Downs. We were very high on him. I think Adam had him ranked as his third or fourth best receiver early on. He doesn't get the best draft capital third round, but he's paired with a rookie quarterback as well, and Anthony Richardson. He's gonna develop that rapport with him right now. I saw highlights already of them throwing to him throwing to them. So I like Downs. Put up insane production in North Carolina. I know he played with Drake May, but he is good. So I know they got Pittman and Pierce. I'm not really too worried about Pierce personally. And that might be a safety blanket for Anthony Richardson. And I think Downs can be very good. And if at the minimum, he's still going to be a good PPR guy, getting some good targets, in my opinion. So I think he's great to, getting this around this tier of the receivers in your drafts.
For sure. And the next tier, guys, the last tier we got here, starting it off, we got Reed at the Green Bay Packers, Jaden Reed, right?
Yep. J-Dog.
So, this one was a shock to us, guys. We saw I saw the J coming out the lips of the announcer, and I thought it was Josh Downs. Yeah. I was about to lose my stuff, and then it's Jaden Reed, which I really had didn't really put together a draft profile for this guy because I just didn't think he was going to have any considerable draft capital, but he did get it. He got it from the Packers, second round. After looking at his tape more, looking at his circumstances, looking at his stats, I do think this guy does have some great upside. Definitely more of a playmaker type guy. He could be a good use for the Packers in the special teams realm. Who knows how much that's really going to pan out for you guys in fantasy, unless he's getting touchdowns off punt returns and kick returns. But this guy does have a pretty decent build with a pretty good athletic profile. So as long as Jordan Love is coming up and showing up to play, this guy has a shot.
I think the Packers have a very good track record of getting these guys in the second round that end up being pretty good receivers. So I'm gonna put that a little bit in consideration too. But again, we'll see. We'll see what this guy can do. I'm excited about him though. So next guy is Marvin Mims. He goes to the Denver Broncos. They traded up for him. Had a very good, production in college. Broke out at a very early age as well. I think it's telling this is the first Sean Payton pick in his, new spot as a coach for the Broncos. They traded up to get him. Russell Wilson, I think, could develop with him. I don't know. We'll see what the hell this guy has in him. I was very concerned after last year. I know they do have Sutton and Judy, but I honestly think Sutton or Judy might be moved before the year. I don't think you trade up to get the receiver to be your third option, in my opinion, when it's their first pick in the draft.
Right.
So this is a good spot for Mims. I know Russ has his question marks, but it's a good spot for him, and this is right where I would take him. And you could even consider taking him maybe ahead of some of the other guys, but maybe ease down on that a bit, though.
Yeah. The last guy in the rankings, guys, it's a guy, it's hard. It sounds like we're contradicting ourselves here when we say this, that Devin and I probably won't be taking Jalen Hyatt in our drafts. And just because we're so afraid of the floor that this guy has. He has a respectable ceiling, but we just didn't see enough out of his tape to really have considerable, NFL translation. So Jalen Hyatt, guys, I know he got, all right draft capital, third round to the Giants, paired with a quarterback that's not that great. This one's just where this is a pick where you're taking a shot on a guy to hope he reaches his ceiling that people think he has, which it could be there. He had some really great production this last year at Tennessee, but just a whole lot of question marks for me, and that's why we're going to have him shoved down this list, and we're probably going to avoid him and take a different position if we're talking about tiers in the overall rankings and the overall scope of things. So,
yeah.
If you need a wide receiver, probably one of your next best options here, but I wouldn't doubt you. I wouldn't blame you guys for passing on him and going with somebody we don't have on this list.
Yeah, I mean, he said everything I would say. So, appreciate you guys watching. That's our top 10 receiver rankings. There's going to be more top 10 rankings for these rookies. Again, check us out on TikTok and Instagram at Cover3Media. Give us some feedback there, guys. We really want to grow this community. Give us your input about what we could do better. Give us your input on some trades or some moves you want to make in your own Dynasty leagues. Like I've said a million damn times, we got you covered. Thank you, guys.